Hello everyone, I am Sai Teja, a first year PGP student from IIM Tiruchirappalli. Today I am going to talk about the global economic financial crisis and its impact on India. The financial crisis was mainly because of the mortgage bubble. There was this guy named Louis Reynard who came up with the idea of mortgage-backed securities. So the housing industry back in the late 90s and the early 2000s was on the rise, and every average American wanted to own a home. So what the banks did was they started giving out loans, taking in property as a collateral. Right. Now Reina's idea was to bundle all these mortgages and convert them into securities. So you will have a very high yield, and because these are mortgages, they will be AAA rated, which meant there would be high demand for such securities. So the banks were very much interested because they would earn lots and lots of profits because of these securities. But the problem was, initially it took off very well, but then there are only so many number of homes available and only so many number of people who are able to buy these homes, right? So what these banks, because they were earning so much profits, they wanted to keep going. So they started giving out loans to people who did not have good credit ratings in the past. So this is what is called as subprime mortgage. So initially there was no problem, but then slowly, as the teaser rate expired, the debtors would have to pay huge sums of money. Initially, because these were adjustable rate mortgages, which meant initially there would be very nominal payments, and then after the teaser rate expires, you will have to pay a relatively large sum of money. Now, these debtors were not able to pay, and also they did not find buyers to whom they could sell these homes and pay out the loan, because the housing industry was on the rise. The prices were also very high, and so finally they defaulted. And now, because this exercise took place in such a large way that there were many number of defaulters, and there were not many buyers who were willing to buy the home. So there was like a mismatch between the demand and supply, right? And what this resulted in the banks going bankrupt. Very big companies like Bear Stearns and the Bank of America, General Motors, all of them had defaulted, and the government had to bail out many of these, General Motors and Bank of America. You know the story of Lehman Brothers. Even that investment banking company also had defaulted. So the thing is, this alone couldn't have resulted in such a big crisis. What had a major impact was the concept of CDOs, which was collateralized debt obligation, which is basically like betting on these mortgages. So assume you had a property of 1 million. There were kind of like bettings who used to bet for or against these mortgages. So because these securities were assumed to be very safe, the odds or the bets were like in the ratio of 30:1, like very large differences, range, I mean. So if these mortgages failed, the entire trade which depended on this particular mortgage would also fail. So effectively, you have 1 million transaction, assume mortgage, there would be thousands, millions, hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars that were linked to this particular mortgage. And if this failed, as it happened, people defaulted on this mortgage, the entire chain also collapsed. Now, there it had impact all over the world, but India kind of like survived. I mean, the impact was not as much as compared to the other countries. This was primarily because the banks were restricted not to be involved in buying of these securities, mortgage securities, which involved speculation. So they were safe, and moreover, most of the GDP was fueled by the domestic consumption, and the external trade accounted for only 15 to 20%. So of the GDP. So it did not affect much of our economy. But then you did have implications in the following years because our products did not have a demand in the foreign markets, because of the crisis. So India still managed to have a 6.7% growth in those years.